Good morning, everybody. Our department conducting the digital classes due to the COVID-19. So, today we have to discuss about the chemistry. In that chemistry, for the first year and second semester, in second semester, first chapter is metallurgy. Before going to be metallurgy, we have to discuss about the metals and non-metals. What are the characteristics of metals and non-metals? What is the differences between metals and non-metals? So first of all, what is the metal? Suppose we have to take the any material in the nature. Is that metal? No. So which are the we have to call the metals? Metals. Almost all metals are solids at room temperature, and they should showing the some special characters. So because of that special characters, we have to decided that material is a metal. How can we are using? How can we are getting from the nature that material, that metals? Our chapter metallurgy is nothing but how can we are getting the metal from the nature? How can we are going to be concentrating? How can we are going to be pure metal, purification of metal? How can we are going to be modifying that metal and mold the metal in our convenience way, and how can we are utilizing that metal? That is our chapter, which is called as metallurgy. Okay. So in that chapter you have to first of all characteristics of metals. Characteristics of metals. So in that characters of the metals, all metals except mercury are solids at room temperature. Okay, all metals except mercury are solids at room temperature. What is the mercury? So hydrogen, its symbol is Hg. So which is in the liquid state at room temperature. We observed in laboratory or dear students, when you have to take the thermometer or a doctor at laboratory, they showing you have to observe that mercury at the bottom of that thermometer or some of the experiments are there about the mercury. When you have to take that mercury in the droplets, you have to observe, and at room temperature also it's liquid state, but remaining that all metals, almost all, at solid at room temperature. And metals have the brilliant metallic luster nature. What is the luster nature? When we have to freshly cut the metal, that metal show the shining nature, which we have to call as luster nature. And the metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Heat and electricity. What is a conductor? Conductor is nothing but when that materials are passing the current or heat to them, then they are called as conductors of heat and electricity. So almost all metals are passing the current and heat to them. That's why that metals are called as conductors of heat and electricity. Heat and electricity. So, and they have the high melting point and boiling point values, except black metals. Okay, so what is the melting point and boiling point? At what temperature that metals going to be melt? That temperature point is called as melting point. At what temperature after the melting, at what temperature that metals going to be boiled? That point of the temperature is called as boil point. S-block metals. Alkaline metals and alkaline earth metals. Alkali earth metals. So S-block metals are two groups are there. S-block contains the two groups whichever there: sodium, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Like that metals are in the first group. So these group metals are nothing but all metallic salts. Metallic salts are there, which are that alkali metals. So these are simply have the low melting and boiling points. At low temperature also they will be going to be melted and boiled. And like that beryllium, magnesium, calcium, like that second group also showing the low melting and boiling points. and different, and the wonderful character also showing that metals malleability character and ductile character. So what do you mean malleability and ductile character? Okay, malleability character is nothing but when that metals melt melted, then we have to make the wires, thin wires. So we are observing the aluminum wires, copper wires. We are using the copper wires, aluminum wires in showing the power, electricity, and that we have to using in our domestical purpose, and we have to using to power in our houses. So that is the malleability character. Even what do you mean malleability character? Even though we have to take the in the form of wires, thin wires, then it will be not broken. That character should be called as malleability character. So and ductile nature. So in the ductile nature, when that metals are have to take the in thin sheets, thin sheets which we are using in the daily life, the roofs of the buildings and roofs of the sheds. So for that domestically we are using. So even though that metals are we are take in thin sheets, it will not broken. And the thin sheets and thin wires also used in the ornaments which we are gold and silver. That silver metal and gold metal also precious metals which we are using the making the ornaments in the thin sheets and thin wires, which are we are called as malleability and ductile nature. So that's why they are showing the good nature of the malleability and ductile nature. Due to the that malleable and ductile natures, we are making the ornaments and showing the shining. And characteristics of metals. Metals have the high densities. What do I mean density? Mass per volume. So within the volume, the mass, within the volume, the mass, in the definite amount of volume, the mass is there. That mass is called as the density of that material. So metals have the high density, means within the volume the high mass is there. That's why we have to call the high densities. Suppose you have to take 1 liter of liquid, 1 liter of gas, same 1 liter container have the metal, in the metal, then which is the weighted metal is the weighted. So it's weighted. Why? Because the within the volume, suppose within the 1 liter, how much weight is there? Only 900. 1 liter of liquid, 900 grams is there. 1 liter of gas, of course 200 300 grams. 1 liter of metal, maybe of course 10 kgs. So that much densities differ from the liquid and gases. Metals have the that much densities. So that's why metals have the high density. Why? Because in between the particles the gap will be slightly less when compared with the liquid and gases. They act as reducing agents. All metals are the acting as reducing agents. Reducing agents. Why? Because they are positive character. They have the positive character. Highly positive characters. And they forms basic oxides. Basic oxides. When they are showing the positive character, highly positive character, almost that all positive characters they should be formation of oxides. Their showing character is basic nature. That's why they forms the basic oxides. And metals have the low ionization potentials and low electron affinity and electronegativity. Hmm. What do you mean ionization potential, electron affinity and electronegativity? Metals have the low ionization potential. Ionization potential is nothing but energy required to pull the electron from the outermost shell of the metal. So it should be want low energy to pull the electron from the outermost shell of the metal. Why? Because that metal should be one or two electrons ready to losing. That's why easily pull the electron. That's why we have to want low energy. Electron affinity and electron negativity. Electron affinity and electron negativity. When we have to pull the electron, it should be character is positive. Make the positive. So positive character is high. Then automatically negative character is low. So that's why electronegativity is very low. And electron affinity. When we are addition of electron, one electron to the outermost shell, very easy. Positive character is there. So that's why electron affinity also low. And they participate in chemical reactions. All metals are participating in the chemical reactions by losing of one or two electrons. Okay, when they are losing the electrons, metals, then they are showing the positive. So positive will be attract the negative. Negative character ions. When there should be formation of positive ions, then automatically they should be combined with the negative ions, which is called as a chemical reaction. So by losing of one or two electrons, that metal should be formation the molecules. That's why they are participating in the chemical reactions. Chemical reactions. So these are the important characteristics of metals. So should we remember this? Almost all metals are solids at room temperature and they have the brilliant luster nature and they have the good conductors, high melting and boiling points, malleability and ductile nature and high densities, reducing agents and low potentials energy and they should be participating in the reaction by losing of one or two electrons. And what is the difference between the which materials we are called as metals, which are solid at room temperature and which are good conductors of heat and electricity, and which are hard and strong, ion ionization potentials low, and reducing agents which have the valency of 1 to 3 and high density and form the basic oxides, and malleability and ductile natures which are showing the luster nature. That materials we are called as the metals. So now remaining which are showing the same opposite characters almost, which are called as non-metals. So look here too, which characters showing non-metals, which characters showing metals. You can differ, you can differentiate in between the metals and non-metals. Look here, metals are solid at room temperature. Almost we have to discuss it before that in the characteristics of metals. So metals are solids at room temperature except Hg, which is called as mercury. And non-metals, even though at solid, liquid and gas state. Here metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, but non-metals does not conduct the heat and electricity. That's why that non-metals are called as insulators. And metals are hard and strong, but non-metals are soft and weak. Why? We have to discuss about the density of the metals. Due to the high density, they are hard and strong. Due to the low density, that non-metals are soft and weak. Ionization potential, electron affinity and electronegativity are low for the metals. We have to discuss about the ionization potential is nothing but the metals require the low energy to pull the electrons from the outermost shell. That's why they have the low ionization energy. And for the non-metals, actually non-metals are gain the electrons, not losing the electrons. That's why they are showing the high negativity. So there is no possibility to pull the electrons. If we have to pull the electrons from the outermost shell of the electron atom, then we have to need the high energy. So ionization potential of the non-metals are high. Same as like that, electron affinity also, electron negativity are also high. So all metals are reducing agents. Reducing agent means nothing but almost they should be losing character of electrons. Only metals have the one or two electrons in their outermost shell. That's why easily loses the electrons. That's why they are showing the reducing power. That's why they are called as the reducing agents. Same like that, non-metals are oxidizing agents. They should be gain the capacity, showing the gaining capacity of electrons. So by gaining capacity means oxidizing power. Okay, which showing the oxidizing power, they are called as the oxidizing agents. So all metals should be contains 1 to 3 electrons in their outermost shell. That's why that showing the metals valency is 1 to 3. So they contains 4 to 7 valency electrons. Non-metals are 4 to 7 valency electrons. What do you mean valency electrons? Which electrons present in the outermost shell, which is called as valency shell. That's why that much valency is called as that metal. So the density of metal is high, the density of non-metals is low. You have discussed already. Density is nothing but mass per volume. So the mass is nothing but mass contained within the volume is high, mass contained within the volume is low for the non-metals. That's why that metal showing the high density and non-metal showing the low density, and they forms the basic oxides due to the positive character. They forms the acidic oxides due to the negative characters. They have malleable and ductile properties. Metals have the malleability and ductile properties. What do you mean ductile property and what do you mean malleability property? Ductile property is nothing but thin sheets. We have to make in the form of thin sheets, even though that should be not broken. And malleability character is we have to make in the thin wires, even though not broken. That properties are called as the malleability and ductile properties. Metals showing the like that properties, but non-metals does not showing such that properties. They participate in the reactions by losing of electrons. Metals are participating in the reaction by losing of electron, but non-metals participating in the reaction by gaining of electrons. By gaining of electrons, both are quite opposite. So these are the differences between metals and non-metals. So differences between metals and non-metals are very important. Terms related to metallurgy. Metals occur naturally in the free state as well as in the combined state. So platinum and gold occur always in the free state. Silver occurs in the free state and combined state. Most of the metals occur in the combined state as minerals due to the high reactivity. So, due to the high reactivity, that should be metals in the form of combined state is nothing but which materials we are observing in the nature. Suppose we are observing the stones, whatever their brown colored stones, which we are called as the minerals of iron. Minerals of iron. For example, brown colored stones are showing the iron. So whenever that going to be occur the iron metals, then we have to collect the brown colored stones. So now brown colored stones are called as the minerals. What do you mean mineral? Mineral is nothing but naturally occurring material. So brown color stone also naturally occurring. So naturally occurring materials are called as the minerals, which are contains the metals. But in the nature the so many materials are there, but they are called only brown colored stones. Not only brown colored stones, which contains the metals, naturally occurring materials which contains the metals are called as minerals. Bauxite, alumina, and clay, galena, pitch blende, like that, all minerals. Okay, minerals. So among the related terms, first term is the metallurgy, the branch of science which deals about the extraction of metals and their uses is called as metallurgy. So before the starting this chapter, we have to discuss about the metallurgy. What do you mean metallurgy? So metallurgy is nothing but extraction of metals. How can we are getting the metal from the nature, and how can we are going to be purification of metals? First of all, we have to collect it in the form of minerals, and that minerals going to be concentrated, and profitable minerals are there, and among the minerals we are collected the profitable minerals which are called as the ores, and that going to be, we have first of all going to be dressing the ores, which is called as concentration of ore, and after the dressing of ore we have to get the crude metal. Crude metal means impure metals, and by that technically we have to purification of metal. By getting the metal, then we have to utilize the in the form of alloys, and we are utilize the in the domestical purposes, and we have to utilizing in which we are in our way. The total process is called as metallurgy. Simply we have to say it, metallurgy is nothing but extraction of metals and their uses is called as metallurgy. So mineral, next term is mineral, the naturally occurring material which contains metal either in the native state or in the combined state is called as minerals. Native state means nothing but free state. The naturally occurring material which contains the metal either in the native state or in the combined state is called mineral. So mineral, suppose for example brown colored stones is a mineral, clay, mud which we are collected from the bottom of the ponds and rivers. So that mud contains the aluminum metal, like that bauxite, galena. So these are the minerals. But clay only mineral, not ore. Why? Because among the all minerals, which minerals only giving the profit? Suppose when we are spending the money on that mineral to extract to get the metal, suppose we have to spend the 10 rupees, then we have to marketing, by the marketing we have to get the 20 rupees, then it should be called as profit. When we are spend the 10 rupees by marketing 5 rupees, then it will be not profit. Like that, not profit minerals are only called as minerals, not ores. So here mineral is nothing but simply you have to say it. So the naturally occurring material which contains the metal is called the mineral. And which minerals will gives the profitable to get the metal is called as ore. And look here, the bauxite, zincsite, hematite, copper glance, galena, silver glance, limestone. You should remember that. And bauxite, aluminum oxide 2H2O, zincsite ZnO, hematite Fe2O3, copper glance Cu2S, galena PbS, common sulfide, silver glance Ag2S, limestone. Calamine, horn silver, cornellite, gypsum, chili salt, peter. Zinc carbonate, silver chloride, cornellite KCl MgCl to 6H2O. It's very important. Gypsum, calcium sulfate 2H2O. Gyangu or matrix. Gyangu or matrix. What do you mean Gyangu? The earthy impurities associated with the ore are called Gyangu or matrix. Like that, which are the earthy impurities? Sand, rock, and clay. So the combined these are we are called as the Gyangu, which is associated with ore. Not only ore, the naturally occurring material, that ore combined with these impurities. So totally these impurities are called as the Gyangu. So for the removal of this Gyangu, we have to want some chemical substances. That chemical substances which we are by adding and to remove the Gyangu is called as flux. When that flux is react with the Gyangu and formation of dissolved product, this product is called as slag. So Gyangu is removed from the ore as slag by the adding the flux. So then we have to should showing the flux plus Gyangu gives to slag. This is the reaction. So types of flux. So these chemicals are two types of chemicals we are using to remove of Gyangu particles from the Gyangu particles. to remove of Gyangu, acidic fluxes and basic fluxes. So here, what do you mean Gyangu? Gyangu is a earthy impurities which are associated with the ore is called as Gyangu. To remove of these Gyangu particles from the ore, we have to using the flux, which is we are called the chemicals. So that chemicals are two types, acidic chemicals and basic chemicals, which we are called as the acidic fluxes and basic fluxes. Here, acidic flux, it is used to remove the basic impurities. So here, why? Because we are using in two types of fluxes. So we are using two types of fluxes because two types of impurities are there. So two types of impurities are associated with ore. So suppose acidic impurities are there, we have to use the basic fluxes. Suppose basic impurities are there, we have to use acidic fluxes. So here acidic fluxes are used to remove the basic impurities. Like that, basic impurities are calcium oxide, magnesium oxide, etc. Here, silicon dioxide and dipentoxide are the acidic fluxes. So basic fluxes. So basic fluxes are used to remove the acidic impurities like silicon dioxide. Suppose silicon dioxide is mixed with the ore, then automatically the silicon dioxide we have to used by removed by the calcium oxide or magnesium oxide, which we are called as basic fluxes. Basic fluxes. So here once again remember we have to terms related to metallurgy. The terms should be, so metals occurring naturally in the free state or as well as in the combined state. So and remember should be in competitive exams, platinum and gold occur always in the free state only, but silver occurs in the free and combined state, and remaining all metals should be in the always be occurred in the combined state as minerals due to the high reactivity. So metallurgy is nothing but the process of extraction or getting the metals from the nature and utilization of metals are called as the metallurgy. Mineral is nothing but simply says the naturally occurring material which contains the metal is called as mineral, and ore is nothing but among the all minerals, which minerals are gives the profitable to get the metal is called as ores. So here one point remember that all minerals are not ores, but all ores are minerals. And for examples of the minerals, important minerals: bauxite, zincite, hematite, copper glance, galena, silver glance, limestone, calamine, horn silver, cornlite, gypsum, chili, saltpeter. You should among them you should be remember always be bauxite and formula, hematite and formula, galena, silver glance, calamine, carnallite, gypsum, chili saltpeter. Very important. Gyango is nothing but the earthy impurities which are associated with the ore is called as Gyangu. And these Gyangu particles we are removed by the chemicals, which chemicals we are called as flux. When that chemicals are combined with the Gyangu and formation in the form of product, that product is called as slag. In the reaction form, flux plus Gyangu gives to slag. Types of fluxes. To remove of Gyangu particles, we have to use two types of fluxes because two types of impurities are there. That's why we have used the two types of fluxes. Acidic fluxes used to remove the basic impurities. Basic fluxes we are used to remove of acidic impurities. For example, acidic flux remove the basic impurities like that calcium oxide, magnesium oxide. Here acidic flux is silicon dioxide and pentadioxide. And basic fluxes it is used to remove the acidic impurities like that silicon dioxide means nothing but sand. We are used to remove the silicon dioxide, calcium oxide and magnesium oxide. So in this chapter which we have to discuss today, very important points and how can ask the questions in the board paper. Write the any two characteristics of metals. Write any four characteristics of metal. And very important question is differentiate the metals and non-metals. And these terms are very important and important minerals and ask the formula. Bauxite, hematite, calamine, carnallite, gypsum, like that. These are the important minerals. Okay, thank you.